All right, good morning, everybody. Mayor Steve Wilder here for the city of North Canton on January 31, 2022 at about 9:07. Our first order of business is to swear in the Charter Advisory Board for the city of North Canton. So I want to thank those that have volunteered to be a part of that. If you'd so please stand where you're at, and I'll just ask you to raise your right hand, and I'll give you the oath of office. So please say aye and then state your name.
I, Miriam Bachman.
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution of the United States,
to support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Charter of the City of North Canton,
the Charter of the City of North Canton,
and to faithfully,
and to faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the Charter Advisory Board.
of the Charter Advisory Board.
This I do
And this I do,
as I shall answer.
shall answer to God.
Thank you very much. You can lower your hands. Congratulations. You are sworn in to be members of our Charter Advisory Board for the city of North Canton. Thank you for volunteering to do this, a very important mission for our city. I'm going to turn the meeting over to our clerk of council, Mr. Ben Young, for the order of business. Mr. Young.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I will now call to order this first meeting of the 2022 North Canton Charter Advisory Board at approximately 9:05 a.m. I will now call the roll. Myself, I'm here. Member Albeck, Member Member Bogman,
Here.
Member Hostetler,
Here.
Member Phelps, Member Fettman, here, and Member Grandjean is absent. I would move to excuse Member Grandjean. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, at this time, our first order of business is to elect a chairperson. So I will open the floor to nominations for the position of chair.
I nominate Ben Young.
I am honored and I will graciously accept my nomination. Are there any further nominations? All right, hearing none, the floor is now closed to nominations. Is there a motion and a second to appoint Member Young to the position of chair of this advisory board?
I move to appoint Ben Young to the chair of the advisory board.
Motion has been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. All right. Next point of order, election of a vice chairperson. I will now open the floor to nominations for vice chair. I would like to nominate Miss Miriam Bogman. She has served on the past two full charter commissions and is an invaluable asset to have on this board.
Second.
Second. Ms. Bogman, do you accept your nomination?
I do.
Are there any further nominations? All right, at this time, the floor is closed to nominations. I will move that we appoint Member Bogman as vice chair of this advisory board. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, third is our regular meeting schedule. According to the ordinance that established this body, we need to meet at least once a month until May, when our recommendations are due to City Council. As I put in your packets, there have been a couple of schedules proposed. The first being second Mondays of the month at 5 p.m. And the other being one of us expressed a preference for Tuesday or Wednesday evening. I personally am inclined to agree with the second Mondays at 5 p.m. Yeah,
I move we have second Monday.
I will second Mondays at 5 p.m. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, second Mondays of each month at 5 p.m. shall be our regular meeting time. And finally, establishment of rules. Miriam, take it from here. She was the one who reminded me that we need to consider all of these things. First would be minimum number of votes for a favorable recommendation to pass. Miriam, do you have a recommendation that you'd like?
Well, since there's 7 of us, a quorum would be 4, and a majority would be 4, so I guess we go, and then I further read that if you have a quorum and only 4 people show up, you still have to do the quorum of the 7.
So you're saying that even if we have a meeting and only 4 of us show up, instead of majority rules of that 4, we
You
still
still
want
go with the
4
quorum.
votes. Okay.
So, you know, you have to think about that.
Are there any votes that would require 2/3, because that would be 5?
Don't know what we would do that would require 2/3.
I think we usually go by Robert's rules.
Okay. Then I would move that we make 4 votes the minimum number needed to positively recommend something.
Okay.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had heard that the state of Ohio is looking with COVID and all of this. So just curious about remote voting. Is that even, I understand that they're revisiting that to see if that's something that's allowable up through June, or is that not applicable in this case?
Yeah, so if you'll, in 2020 and 2021, we had a lot of public meetings virtually. At that time, the state legislature created an exemption that allowed public bodies like us to meet virtually. I am watching, and I have been told by our state reps that they are working on it, but it is not yet in place.
Okay.
So if that happens, we can have people join virtually, but without that exemption, legally to vote, you must be here present.
Okay, perfect.
The second thing I think that we need to decide, since it's a public meeting, visitors will be here. But if there will be public speaks and how long they will be, that needs to be decided.
So for the full charter reviews, is there normally public comment?
Yes. Mhm.
And do you generally follow what city council usually follows?
I can't remember. That was 2008.
That's fine.
You know, that's something that everybody could talk about and decide.
So what Miriam's asking is, do we want to let members of the public, address us and give input on what we're voting on during each meeting?
Is there ever a situation where you wouldn't let them or wouldn't want that?
No, I don't think so. I think it's a good thing. You just have to put a time limit on it.
Sure. How popular are these meetings for the public? I guess it depends on the issue.
Yes. Mhm.
So the city council has a 5-minute time limit. And then, they have some rules against slander and things like that. I guess I would suggest we use city council's rules with the additional rule that it must be limited to things on our agenda.
Sure.
Because, if someone comes, we can't help you with your driveway problem, right?
Are you second? Am I supposed to say that? That sounds good to me.
Okay, well then I'll move that we use city council's public speaks rules with the addition of limiting it to items relating to the city chart. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And I don't believe we ever actually voted on the minimum number of votes, so I will make that motion again that the minimum number be 4. Is there a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, finally, for the review process and how we go about looking at these amendments, as I shared with you all in email, there are 15 amendments that have been submitted. This says 16 2 of those are duplicates of each other, so it's 15. Looking at the data of what was submitted, we have about half that relate to Article 2 and then half that relate to everything else. So I would like to move and recommend that how we go about this is in February, we look at everything relating to Article 2. In March, we look at everything else. Then in April, we should be able to have final drafts of everything we've come up with to send to council in May, and then we still have that meeting in May if there's something we decide to change in April that can come back to us.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
I don't have those 15 in front of me, but what I remember that, and I think should be addressed, and I don't know if it was one of the 15, is how often that the Charter Review Commission meets. The last time we had a charter review, we looked at it and some decided 10 years was too long, but it didn't pass the court. So I feel 10 years is too long to completely review it, because things change quickly. You know, Ohio law changes, and we can't be in conflict of Ohio law.
Yeah.
So we can't have Ohio law say something and then we say something else.
I do know, because it was one of the ones I collected beforehand and I submitted, that is in there.
Okay,
As one of the
okay.
amendments. Is there a second for the process I laid out or an alternative process? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Anything else before we adjourn?
Did we put a time on how long the meetings would be? Of course, if they're Monday night, they can only be,
So we'll have 2 hours on Monday nights, yeah.
okay, 2 hours.
Because city council would start at 7
Right.
p.m.
Okay.
All right, then I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for coming this morning.
We should have made Charlie Grandjean the chair.